Welcome to Mid-Level Media, everybody, and for my review of You Should Have Left. So, first thing before I get into the review, I'm going to go ahead and ask that you please, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel for more great content. I do reviews, I do Blu-ray, 4K unboxings, I do the physical media report on Monday, I have a weekly horror show that I do on Thursdays. All kinds of great stuff on this channel that I'm sure you'll love and enjoy. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't do me a favor and punch that like button for me right down there. Just hit it real quick for me so we can move on with the video and we can get that out of the way, and you can help this video reach more viewers, reach more eyes in the world of YouTube. And also, guys, when the review is done, go ahead and comment your thoughts on the film if you've seen it, or just your thoughts on my review in general, and leave me that feedback. I would really appreciate it. So let's get into it, guys. Should Have Left is directed by David Koepp and stars Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried. As a former banker, his actress wife and their spirited daughter book a vacation at an isolated modern home in the Welsh countryside where nothing is quite as it seems. Alright guys, so let's get into it. And if you watch my weekly or bi-weekly horror show on Thursdays called The Haunting of Mid-Level, you'll know that I did a trailer reaction for this a couple of weeks ago, and I was pretty high on the trailer. I was really looking forward to this film. It looked really good, looked really suspenseful, scary, and a new idea, a fresh take on the kind of haunted house genre and horror. So I am very unhappy to report that I did not like this film. It's tough to say that I didn't like it. That's a little bit harsh, but I thought it was fine, but it was very bland and very generic to me. It just did not hit those notes that I wanted it to hit. And, you know, it introduced some interesting ideas and concepts, but ultimately failed to deliver on those and pay those off by the end. And it just felt like it kind of coasted through and just rode on the fact that it was a cheaply made horror film, and it was going to do some horror things here and there, but really it was just trying to get to the finish line and deliver a horror movie as quick as possible. And that really did not help its case at all. I mean, this movie, to be honest, is not scary. It does very little to build any kind of tension or suspense throughout the film. In fact, the most tension you will get in this film is between Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried, their relationship drama as a couple. And that for a horror movie, it's not a very good way to sell your horror movie. The fact that the only tension there is between the relationship and the couple in the movie. But I mean, there's a big buildup in this movie. It feels like it's heading somewhere through most of it. That makes it somewhat interesting and enjoyable to watch, but ultimately, when you get to the end and the way it ends, and I'm not going to spoil anything, guys, that's not what we do here, but it's just, there's a big reveal, or at least they play it like it's a big reveal, but really it's something I knew from the very beginning. It's something that you can kind of tell just from the opening scene, and you know where it's going, and so the ending kind of fell really flat. And like I said, it introduced some interesting concepts. I just wanted to see them expanded on even more. So Kevin Bacon, he's really good in the film. And to be honest, Kevin Bacon's good in almost everything he's in. So that's nothing new. He really plays well in this horror genre. You know, he's been in a lot of horror films. He started his career in horror with Friday the 13th. And of course, he did some in the 90s. He did like Hollow Man and Stir of Echoes. Death Sentence, you know, he's done a lot in the horror genre, and he fits right into this, and it feels like, you know, he's right at home doing the horror stuff and the horror thing. So he's really good in the film. All of the criticism I have of it's nothing to do with him. If you like Kevin Bacon and you just like to watch Kevin Bacon perform and do his thing, you might like this more than, you know, the average viewer. So I don't know. The camera work also is very good. It's a very well directed film. The shot compositions, they do a really good job of portraying the scale of this house and the layout of this house and how it compares to the outside, because a lot of this movie has to deal with, like, the house is almost transforming on the inside, while it just looks the same on the outside, and the kind of mystery and confusion aspect of that with Kevin Bacon's character and how he's trying to figure that out, almost like a puzzle throughout the film. And, you know, the director of this movie is actually a really big deal in the world of Hollywood. I looked him up, and I hadn't really, you know, paid attention to who the guy was, but his name's David Koepp, and he has written screenplays for some of the biggest movies of all time. He wrote a screenplay for Jurassic Park, the first Mission Impossible movie, the first Spider-Man movie, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. He did a screenplay for War of the Worlds. He's worked with Steven Spielberg quite a bit. Sam Raimi, this guy has written a lot of great screenplays for a lot of classic films. And in addition to that, he has a capable filmography. He's directed quite a few movies as well. He directed Mordecai a few years ago with Johnny Depp. He has directed Stir of Echoes, so he has worked with Kevin Bacon before. And he also directed Secret Window with Johnny Depp. So he's directed some movies, and regardless of what you feel about Secret Window and Mordecai, Stir of Echoes is a very good horror film that I love from I think it might be late 90s, early 2000s, but that's a good movie for sure. So this guy knows how to direct a film, and really, to be honest, the direction is not the problem. Now, he also wrote the film, so that's where I had the issue. So, for a guy that's written such screenplays, and I know he had source material to work off of, but Jurassic Park, the first Mission Impossible, like those kind of movies, for somebody that's written like great movies like that, it seems a little weird that this one was very poorly written. It just wasn't good. That's almost my entire problem with the film. But as far as Amanda Seyfried, she does well in the movie. She's fine. She plays to her strengths. She's not somebody I would call one of the best actresses working today, but she's fine. She plays off of Kevin Bacon well, and they have pretty good chemistry in the movie. And the little girl, which I can't think of her name right now, but she does really well in the movie also. And it kind of feels a little tropey, the way they use her in certain sequences, because the little creepy girl, the creepy kid is like a trope in horror, and they kind of play that up a little bit in the movie with her. But more than that, she's just, she's kind of a part of the mystery and the investigation with Bacon, and they work together. About the third act of the film, they're together an awful lot because something happens to take Amanda Seyfried out of the picture for a little bit, and they get the chance to kind of play off each other. And I think that Kevin Bacon, and her have really good chemistry. And regardless of how it ends and how it falls flat, I think that some of those sequences with them two towards the end are probably the strongest of the movie. But overall, guys, I gotta say this is a disappointment. I was really hoping for a lot better, judging off of just going off of the screenwriter of this, and Kevin Bacon's involved, and Blumhouse, Blumhouse, they have their hits and they have their misses. It feels like when they miss really hard, and when they hit really hard. So there's really not a lot of in between there, but I was really hoping that this would be good. And it's not terrible. I don't want to sell it like it's terrible. This is not Fantasy Island. This is not Truth or Dare. This is not like the lowest tier trash Blumhouse film. It's just incredibly bland and generic and just inadequate. It doesn't really fit your needs as a horror fan, at least in my opinion. So I reviewed this on my Instagram. I gave it a 7 out of 10, and I pretty much stand by that. 7 out of 10. It's about a C- for me. It's not terrible, but it's just not great either. And, it's not even really that good. But it's definitely something that, this movie just came out on VOD. It's a part of that new price point that everybody's doing because it would have been released in the theater. So it is $20 to rent. I would not pay $20 for this movie. Definitely wait until it comes to the Redbox, hits a streaming service, comes out to rent for $5. I could recommend it for that, but just if you're curious. But for $20, definitely not. Do not get this movie for $20. I can definitely say that. But yeah, guys, so that is my review of You Should Have Left. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Like this video, comment down below your thoughts on the movie if you have seen it, and we'll see you next time.